string to his bow. The most surprising things and the best things that came out of it were this individual that was able to take people with him and convince them of the right way to do it and give them the energy and the confidence and the encouragement and the right direction.
Gratin dauphinoise in a bowl on the table.
Yeah, yeah.
Fresh peas, because it's just coming to season.
Yeah, perfect.
And so that's the major selling points for the dining room.
It's like he's got a firework up his arse because he's sort of like, come on, got to do this, got to do that, and you're like, he's jumping around, and you know, and you feel that you need to get on to do it.
This whole thing is theatre, and this restaurant has to become a showcase, and each and every customer is going to eat in here on Sunday, gearing up for a bloody busy day, has to remember you.
Yes.
And if they remember you and we've served good food, boy, are they going to come back.
The thing that with Gordon Ramsay, which he does, is he would break you down and then rebuild you again to how he wants you to work. And, you know, I think that's the key to his success.
You know, the people we met from his organisation would walk over coals for him. They'd jump through hoops for him.
What I'm attracted to in him is his need to get it right, and I think he so cares. And what you get is someone who swears just because he's pissed off with something, but you also get a humanity coming out. And I actually found myself really warming to him.
So Gordon emerged an even bigger TV star, but then threatened to undo all his good work.
I think right from the start of Hell's Kitchen, look at the opening titles, they were trying to set him up as the panto baddie, and the little devilish smirk at the end, you know, like he's the most evil person in the world. Well, reality TV lives or dies on confrontation, and if you want confrontation, you book Gordon Ramsay. It's as simple as that.
I think there's a great danger of Gordon becoming the Scottish Simon Cowell. A great danger. This actually worries me.
When the cameras started rolling, we all kind of gave each other a little bit of a nod and said, here he goes. He's going to ham it up a little bit. We're going to suffer here.
Let's work as a team! Sweet talking down. Concentration. Talking sweet kind of lie. Your attitude stinks.
Oh, Hell's Kitchen played up to that whole bad-tempered, shouty, sweary thing completely, because that is becoming Gordon's shtick. That is the hook that they hang Gordon Ramsay on, is the cookery bogeyman.
You wondered whether, like, the persona had swallowed the person, and Hell's Kitchen was the sort of, like, final belch of the digestive process, like, you know.
I've got a top food critic in. I just want concentration. If you can't get me that, I want you to off.
I think the first thing I noticed was the way that he targeted his victims. He's very meticulous in picking the weak ones. First off, he had to go at James Dreyfus, and then people like Abby Titmuss. He saw that he could bully them.
Though he found his match in a surprisingly strong Curry, who kept repeating on him.
I get bored very easily, and there are only so many risottos I want to make in my life or in any single day. Do it again? No, thank you. Let's do something more interesting. Let's wind Gordon up a bit.
Edwina,
yes, chef.
This is stone cold here.
It shouldn't be.
Well, come on, here we go. Without the fucking... Put your finger on there, please. No, on the mushroom.
The oven isn't on.
Yeah, stone cold Edwina curry.
The oven isn't on.
Oh, right,
Fuck it, we shall argue here, Al Murray, that she's fucking...
And he would be shouting and expecting me to shout back or to burst into floods of tears or to flounce off, and I knew I was going to do none of these things. I was just going to look at him. A little dumb insolence would do it.
The last thing you want is Edwina antagonising Gordon just before service, because it's not just that Edwina suffered, we all suffered, and it was getting very boring at the end.
Are you always two-faced?
And when a rattled Ramsay played a major card, he lost the upper hand.
No, but, you know, 1 minute you're shagging our Prime Minister, and now you're trying to shag me from behind.
I knew the moment he had said it so aggressively that he wished he hadn't, because it made him look a real Burke. You just blew it.
It was obviously a bit of a cheap shot, that, but, you know, Edwina brought it on herself. She wrote about it in her book, and maybe Gordon was just saying what everyone at home was thinking.
By the end of the programme, my guess is that he was having second thoughts about it, because it was destroying food and destroying his reputation. He was giving his name to something that was a pastiche. And if Gordon concentrated on food instead of faffing around with idiots like us, I think he would make everybody happy.
If he wants longevity, he's got to be true to himself. If they just tap on to the Beelzebub of him, it will kill him. He must not let them do that, because I think they do. I think they throw oil on the fire endlessly, all that stuff.
So, has Ramsay's Inferno simply become a cartoon parody of itself? And what next for the foul-mouthed firebrand? Find out after the break, when we also reveal his darkest, most shocking secret. So far, we've learnt how a shy boy's passion and drive took him to the top, where he's veered from tyrant to lovable rogue to pantomime baddie. But now it's time to reveal the guilty secret hidden from the public, the dark and shameful truth about Gordon James Ramsay.
Underneath, I think he's a thoroughly nice man. Thoroughly nice.
The Gordon I know is an exemplary human being. He's wonderful.
We've all got faults, but I think that he's actually pretty much an all right guy.
Gordon, I'm sure, will be mortified to, a lot of people saying, oh, he's actually a really nice guy. He loves kids. He's, sweet to old people. But the fact is, yeah, I think he is a nice guy.
Yes, viewers, it's true. Gordon Ramsay is nice. And if you want the ultimate proof, listen to this. One of his favourite ever records chosen as a Desert Island disc.
You know it's true. Everything I do it for you.
Yes, TV's hardest, swearingest man, loved pop's longest, sick-makingest anthem, and its sticky pudding sentimentality.
He's a very family-orientated man. All he talks about is his little twins and his wife, and whenever I used to see him.
At the point where everyone was desperate to book in and Saturday night was the big night, he wouldn't open because that was the time for his family. That's an extraordinary statement, I think, and I think a lot should be read into that.
His home and family life tells you a lot about him. Tana is lovely. She's a sweet, charming, and very genuine person. She's not some broad with big boobs and plumped up lips and false hair everywhere. And the fact that he chose her tells you a lot about Gordon.
Mind you, before we all get too carried away, let's also remember this is a man who readily admits he's never changed a nappy.
I'm not the world's best hands-on dad, I've made that quite clear.
Tony, are they eating with their fingers or are they using knife and forks, sweetheart?
They're eating with their fingers. The twins are 17 months old. If you give them a fork, they'll stab each other.
When I'm in the middle of service and things are going pear-shaped at work and I'm not very pleasant to work for, I have to change within an hour and go home and walk into an environment with 4 young children under 5 that know me as Daddy.
Oh, no! Tony, it wasn't me, honestly.
And a wife that I'm deeply in love with that doesn't see me as a boss but sees me as her husband.
They're very fat, they're very plain. If they were seasoned properly, they'd taste 10 times better.
Oh, isn't it lucky I don't cook for you every night?
No, that's right, darling. OK.
Reach out and touch faith.
These days, we're not playing happy families. Gordon's got busy fingers in myriad pies. He's cashed in gleefully on the panto villain act for a crisp ad.
Are you sure? Are you really sure?
He's writing his memoirs. There's a new range of ready-made meals and his own brand of chocks. And he's no doubt keeping track of all these commitments on his very own calendar.
I think in our business, there's more demand than we can absorb. And I think there is a point where, is it for the fame? Is it for the money? Is it for your ego? Is it for the pleasure? I mean, you really have to balance all that out.
So, could selling his soul as a multimedia star mean losing the ones from Michelin?
What is interesting is, if a chef expands into so many restaurants and so much television, will it eventually lose him a star? And that worries me a bit, that he may take his eye off the ball where it matters and lose the star, and then he's lost everything.
Has he sold out? Does it damage his credibility? Yeah, probably in the eyes of a lot of know-nothings. End of the day, point a gun at Gordon's head, march him into the kitchen, and make him cook something, can he cook brilliantly? Yeah, that's the bottom line to me.
Fair play. Although a recent set to with a contestant on Hell's Kitchen USA, where a lawsuit was only averted by an out-of-court settlement, still suggests the one remaining threat to Gordon's future might be his own boiling brains.
I think that Gordon has got to grow up a bit, because if he's still doing his behaviour when he's 55, somebody should kick him in the nuts.
I think the future for Gordon is doing programmes like Kitchen Nightmares and not programmes like Hell's Kitchen. You know, after Hell's Kitchen, he came out and said, "Oh, I'm not doing that again, it was a waste of time, 24-hour whinging from celebrities." And that's because he probably sat back, had a good look at it and thought, my career has got to be serious.
And I think for Gordon especially, fame is very, very seductive. Having had a taste now of being a celebrity, being on primetime TV, being talked about, that's pretty addictive to someone like Gordon, and I think he'll find it hard to step back from that. And I think we're going to see a very different Gordon in months and years to come.
Now, he's a cook, for God's sake, but I think he's at risk. Okay, let's go and make $10 million in the United States. Why not? But then, what do you do for the rest of the 40 years, you know? Buy a yacht and get pissed, I suppose.
Hopefully we'll see him as a chef on Ready Steady Cook. Wouldn't that be nice, Gordon?
We'd like a bit of that, wouldn't we, ladies and gentlemen? Maybe not. Love the choice of music, guys. Fantastic. More celebrities behaving in a most undignified fashion next. And you know you just have to watch Russell Crowe abusing fans and a drunk Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know you do. It's Celebrity